Unspoken Travels, we're going our way.
Unspoken Travels delves into the often overlooked stories of foreigners facing unexpected challenges upon arriving in the USA. These narratives encompass heartbreak, disappointment, and encounters with obstacles such as bureaucratic hurdles, societal rejection, and in some instances, abuse leading to homelessness. However, the show also highlights the resilience and determination that enable them to overcome adversity and ultimately thrive.
Welcome to Unspoken Travels. Today's guest is no other than Teon Lindo. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, where are you from?
I'm from Guyana.
Guyana.
Yeah.
Tell me, in what year did you move to the U.S.?
2002.
2002. And why? Why leave your native land and come to the United States?
I'll say for my aunt, she decided that my mom had died. My mom had passed away, and
Sorry to hear that.
my aunt decided to say it was better for me, my older sister, to come here just to visit. So, yeah, 2002 was the first time
So you came to visit?
Yeah,
so
came
on
to
vacation?
visit. Yeah.
And what age were you?
I was about 13.
Oh, okay. So come living by your aunt.
Yeah.
What you went undocumented?
No, first we was just visiting. So.
Oh, okay. So you just having fun vacation?
Yeah.
All right.
And
so how did that turn out? So when did you guys leave to go back to Ghana?
I would say after the summer, in the same year, 2002, we went back home, and prior to me being Guyana back, as a young individual, enjoying the presence of first time coming to America. And at some point in that of growing up, I decided to say, hey, I wanted to revisit back the United States. And
at what age?
And that age brought me around 16, 17.
3 years
that
later.
time, yeah.
Okay, so you did so.
Yeah.
And you were back at your aunt's house?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the living condition there?
It's pretty great. I don't have any of the.
How many persons were in the dwelling?
It was me and about 3 of my other cousins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your other brother didn't come back with you?
Oh, but my sister. So she didn't came back.
Oh,
it was
okay.
just me.
Okay, so you alone made that trip. And what was your plan coming at the age of 16 to the States?
My plan is, you being young, growing up, you wanted to you seen that lifestyle of television. You wanted to see what the American dream was actually like. And at that age, I was most likely influenced in basketball. So that was one of the careers I was trying to pursue by coming to the United States. So that's why.
A better place to be.
Yeah. That's why I decided to say I
wanted
wanted to come
NBA.
back. Yeah.
The dreams are big. All right then. So did you enroll in school?
She tried. At that time, I think she moved to Florida, and the school did accept me. But me being young again, friends back home, hey, I'll be back home. I decided.
So you went back to Ghana.
I wanted
again.
to go back again.
So you stayed how long here before you went back to Ghana?
Give it probably a year or two, something like that. Yeah.
So with that year span, you wasn't working over in school?
No, I was young, so my aunt was actually providing for me.
Okay, so you're back to Ghana.
Yeah.
And enjoying the good experience of being back and forth in the United States. But you decided to come back?
Yeah, then I decided to come back,
At
and
what
I'll
age?
say this time, I would say I came back with my sister at 20, 21, roughly around that age, and that's when I was grounded in the United States to stay here.
Okay.
And at that time, I was not documented to work permanently like some individuals.
So what you did in that time? Undocumented, not in school, do have a job. What's next?
I was home, and then a friend reached out to me about working, and I used to go help out like the empty containers and stuff like that. And yeah, that's how I started to provide him for myself to get
So
around.
you're still at your aunt's house?
Yeah.
Right, so you help him with the rent, you paying a bill. Tell us.
I would say I was just giving my arm, but it wasn't something that I was, hey, you have to.
Right.
So I was just,
Or
hey.
you go hard to realize
Yeah.
they're providing, you have a roof over your head.
Yes.
So listen, let me contribute.
Yeah.
Right. So you contributed.
Yeah.
What happened next? All right, so you're working, you living in the United States. What's your next plan?
My next plan was actually to get myself on the right path of situation of documenting the right. And after that is actually I wanted to have a better job because I wanted to go back home, and after overstayed my time.
You overstayed?
So I had
your
to,
visa.
I had to actually find a way to figure that part out.
So how did you get documented?
In 2010, I roughly met an individual that actually wanted to help me in that sense, and I took the offer, and there it
Got
was.
married.
Yeah.
Okay, how did that go?
It was pretty great. Then upon that happening, I had a conversation. I had a son, and
No.
so that was going pretty great in a sense until it started to go where it's not supposed to go.
Tell us about that. So were you cheating?
No, I wasn't cheating. It was more based on of an individual and family. Once family was involved, it was more of the family was more control of
Her family.
her family.
Wanted to control the whole
Yeah.
relationship.
And that was not something I want to
'Cause a man wanna
actually
be a
deal
man.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I decided we had a lot of issues with that.
So you moved out, she moved out. What happened?
So I moved out, and that was like 2014. My son was born, and I moved out in 2000 and
So you left her with a kid.
yeah,
How old was the child
2016.
at that point?
He was now becoming one.
One. So
Yeah.
daddy moves out
Yeah,
because the family want to take control.
yeah,
So single mother.
yeah.
What's next?
But I was still contributing as a
Oh, you
as a
taking
man.
care of the
I
kid?
take care of my son.
Right. So you moved out. Where were you living at that time?
So I stayed about a rental room, and that was like 2012, 13. After I moved out, I say, hey, I have my cousin, and we decided to go to Atlanta for the first time. And prior to doing that, I kind of liked Atlanta, and I came back. I just had a job, and I told the job here I'm gonna give my 2 weeks, and I decided to move to Atlanta.
Right.
And after being in Atlanta for so long, after 2015, and so I decided to say, I'm trying to find myself in a
So
sense.
how long did you stay in Atlanta?
About 5 years.
5 years. What you did there?
I started working at cleaning the planes and stuff like that, and stuff did
Living on
not.
your own?
Yeah, after me and my cousin that I knew in Atlanta moved out there, she were not stable in a sense, and then she lose her apartment, and I was technically on my own in a sense.
Okay.
So,
All right. So you're in Atlanta for 5 years.
so being in Atlanta, have nowhere to go. I could have went back home, but I decided to
Hold on.
stuck it out.
You say you're living in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Have nowhere to go. What do you mean?
I have nowhere to go. That I didn't had apartment.
So
I was
you lost your
actually
job?
homeless. I had the job, and I was still going to work, but I didn't have nowhere to stay. I was actually renting hotels and stuff like that.
So you had no family in Atlanta.
No family.
No friends.
No friends at that point in time.
Okay. So you're working, staying in hotels partially.
Yeah.
You're paying a rent
At the hotel, basically.
daily. Daily you're paying these.
Yeah.
So you're paying this daily. Are you making enough money to contribute to make sure that you are balancing?
Oh no, it wasn't because actually.
So things was going kind of rough.
Yeah, it was.
So you left New York in Atlanta, stayed in a hotel, working a 9 to 5, and things are going terrible.
Yeah.
So tell us, what after that is what? You want to go back to Guyana? Did you ever thought about, you had your nice life in Guyana. Should I go back, or should I just suck it up and die in Atlanta?
I would say it did cross my mind a lot of times, and I tried to felt like, okay, I need to just figure it out, like stick it out. And I could have went back home, but still funds was the issue. So prior to doing that, I say, no, I'm just gonna figure it out. While being nowhere to go sometimes, I couldn't stay in the hotel, so.
So where did you stay?
Well, some of the time I would say I slept in the airport
In the airport.
because I had like basically an access to going to the airport at that time because working at the
Your job was
airport.
in the airport.
Yeah,
What, cleaning what? The planes?
cleaning the plane at that moment.
So where were your clothes and stuff?
So my clothes actually in the storage, and I was paying storage at the same time. So it's like really had funds for that.
So where do you shower?
At the hotel, sometimes when I was not able to shower at the hotel, I would say I shower at a bathroom, make sure myself is okay, not smelling and that
But
type
the
of
airport
stuff.
doesn't have a bathroom.
It was a restroom, so
You just wipe up.
yeah, basically, until I was able to go to an hotel.
So none of your workers, your peers, never saw you sleeping in the airport?
No, because basically after my shift finish, I leave and I would return back later on when it's like late in the night and stuff like that. And
So you're practically homeless.
technically, yes.
Wow. The big dream, the big America,
Yeah,
what you saw on TV,
yeah,
failed you at some point.
yep.
So, all right, so picking up the pieces now. From that point, tell me how you moved from there to where you were more comfortable.
So one night I was in the airport and I was sleeping, and the CFO for Amway, he just walked up to me, and I was actually there sleeping, and he was like, I don't know what actually said me to come meet you, and we had a conversation. He gave me a number and an address, and I decided the next day I went to that address, and I rolled up to a house that was very, whoop.
So, you knew the guy?
No, it was an Indian man.
Nope, from Adam.
Nowhere.
He just walked up to you.
Yeah. Why is I was
Just like
actually,
that.
yeah, because I don't know if you may not be familiar with it, but at that time, a lot of homeless people was in Atlanta airport at that time. So I was in that same category at that
So you
moment.
just, out of everybody else, he picked you.
And that was kind of
Somebody's
strange
praying,
to
boy.
me, you know. So after that happened, I left. I went to the storage. I grabbed a little bit of clothes and kind of get myself not smelling like, okay, I didn't shower, you know.
So he took you in.
No, he didn't took me in. He just invite me over to wherever they were in this place called Alpharetta, Georgia. And me didn't had nowhere to get there. I just figured my way out. I got there and I met a whole group of people, and we sat down and we talked. And from that day on, I kept kind of communication, and they kind of guide me.
So it's kind of group that
Yeah.
takes you from there to the next place.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what
Was
the.
it like a support group, was it?
I guess it was his family. He was visiting from India, something like that. Yeah.
So after that, you stopped sleeping at the airport?
No, I was still
At the
at the airport, but I still had that communication with that person that made me feel like there was some kind of hope.
Some strength.
Yeah,
All right, so you're getting strength, but you're still at the airport.
yeah.
Tell me, did you move from there? How long you stayed? How many months you stayed
I would give it roughly 8 to 9 months or to a year.
at the airport, sleeping at the airport?
Yeah.
That might have been tough, huh?
Yes, it was.
What was going through your mind? Like the world has disappointed you, you failed yourself. What? Tell me about it.
I would say I felt like I don't know what turn I take wrong, you know, and I was wanting to figure out why me, in a sense, why. Because basically we sat there and it's like I take 2 chairs and I just there at night and I just slept, you know, and where should I go? What was going on? Why me? Why?
So where was your sister at this time?
My sister, I think she was living in Queens. She's still in New York.
You all communicated while you was going through this tough time? What family member you were communicating with at that point?
Actually, I did not share my
'Cause
situation
you
where I
wanna keep
was.
it,
Yeah, you know, so I kept it that to myself. So today, it was actually life was okay with me in a sense, but technically it was.
So you're doing pretty. So you're back in New York.
Yeah.
All right. So roughly how many years you did there in the airport? 5.
I stayed at the airport maybe 3 years top, 3 years, and then after I got a job working for Delta Sky Club in that time, that's when things started changing for me.
Changing.
Yeah.
And then what? You moved back to New York.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Now I'm a truck driver and I have my own business and
18
stuff
really?
like that. I'm no 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing pretty well now.
Life is pretty great for me in
Wow.
a sense. Yeah.
From zero to hero.
Yeah.
So right. So well, I'm happy to hear that. Well, we want to thank you for coming on. Unspoken Travels. Know we have a platform here anytime. We are happy to have you.
All right. Thank you.
Unspoken Travels, we're going our way.